What's up, podcast listeners? It's Andy. It's Drew. It's producer Robin. We are back with an exciting new episode for your ears of the What's Up Casselberry podcast, Casselberry's favorite podcast.
Drew, I've got my headphones on. You have, Robin has. Hi, producer Robin.
Hi.
And with our headphones on, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like we're sounding really professional today.
I do, yes. This last couple of episodes, we've upped our game. Robin was a very generous Christmas elf and came out and bought us some nice new equipment. Thank you, Robin. Yeah.
So you're going to have to, let's explain to the listeners what's going on. There's a microphone that's like attached to the table with some kind of clamp. And in front of the microphone, there's like this little screen that we talk into. And I feel like a pro DJ. In fact, maybe I'll go spin some discs.
There you go.
Do people still do that?
What would be your DJ name?
Oh,
I know, I'm putting you on the spot.
It would be, I don't know. I've never thought about it before. Yeah. I am on the spot. What about you?
Preacher DJ.
What was that?
Preacher DJ.
Preacher DJ.
DJ Preacher.
DJ Preacher. Dog. Isn't that how it goes?
My dog.
You're good.
Dog. In fact, that's appropriate because we got a dog in the studio with us today.
In this new year, you can be anything that you want to be.
That is not true. There's a whole lot of things I cannot become.
Yes, you can.
But DJ name, if I were to come up with something out of the blue, I would probably go with what my nephews and nieces call me, which is just Drew.
True.
DJ Drew.
It sounds like some drug or something.
Or poo-poo.
Did you have some DJ Drew? Some Drew juice?
All right, I think we've wrung out all the comedy we can from that. If you're new or if you're a newer listener, we're glad you're here. We are Casselberry residents, friends who love to highlight and celebrate and inspire regarding all things Casselberry, Florida. And we have just a fantastic guest. Andy and I have been looking forward to this guest for a time. If you're a fan of sports, if you're a fan of leadership, if you're a fan of just good conversation, not by us, you will look forward to our conversation with Coach David Langdon in a little bit. But before we get there, I just want to do a check-in. Robin, how are you? What's shaking?
Great. Just watching my buttons here. And also, this is not like new equipment. This is equipment we all had for the most part. I just finally figured out how to use it the best way possible.
Look at that. One of your New Year's resolutions is coming to pass.
That's right. So
perfect. Well, very good.
But I would have spent the money on you guys.
In fact, I think we're going to come into this studio next week to record, and there'll be like those eggshell boxes all around, like a on-air light outside the door. And
Yeah.
Some sparkling water.
Yes, green M&Ms.
I'm going to need to talk to your admin for a minute, though, to make that happen.
Andy, it's that time. It just is. There's no need to transition. There's no need to try to force an awkward joke in the way. We're doing it.
Okay.
Dad jokes of the week.
Okay,
Yay.
Here we go.
Do you have your book or your computer? Where are your jokes?
I don't have my book.
Just from your brain?
I haven't consulted my encyclopedia, Doug. I'm just ripping these straight from Google.
Go ahead. You go first this time.
Drew will pretend not to, but we all know that's what he does.
He's admitted to that.
Okay, why do fathers take an extra pair of socks with them when they go golfing, Robin?
Why?
Just in case they get a hole-in-one!
Yay!
So, Robin, off air, we were talking about how to manage schedules and things like that. As we're kind of in this month of January, people are worried about organizing their calendar, but I'm a little bit afraid for the calendar.
Oh, no.
Did you know that?
Why?
Its days are numbered.
Uh-oh.
I feel like I used that joke or a similar one, but nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just letting Andy,
Yeah.
I feel I was mean to him last year. I'm trying,
New Year's resolution. Well, it's interesting that as I'm sharing these jokes, which I am unashamedly getting off Google, it puts them on a level with Drew's jokes. And Robin, I am hearing the same kind of laughter from my jokes as I hear from Drew's jokes, and that's actually very discouraging for me. So I'll give you one more. My wife said that in this new year I should do some lunges to stay in shape. You know what I said to her?
What?
That would be a big step forward.
Here we go.
Oh.
Those were good. A couple for me. Of course,
They were good on your level.
Yeah, they were.
Poor for me.
They were. I had a good chuckle. All right, so it's my turn now, and since we are interviewing a football coach here in a minute, I tried to find some football-related jokes. Now, there were a bunch on the internet. A lot of them were inappropriate. So I tried to call them down, and then from there tried to find
How
some
deep a
other
search
funny
did you
ones.
do? What did you type into the search bar?
Oh, let people's imaginations run wild. Just I did
Let's not.
I did the good work of finding
Let's
three
not, Pastor Drew.
family-friendly jokes here. All right, here we go. Andy, what do centers wear on their feet? Do you know what the center is in football?
I know.
American football.
I know. I really should. I guess it's the guy who stands in the center.
It's the guy that like snaps the ball or hikes the football to the quarterback.
I think that's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's position.
What
I think.
What do centers wear? On
Oh
their...
man, can we just have a timeout there? Because my daughter, get this, she's 20 years old. She has never been into football. Travis Kelce, is that his name?
Yeah.
She is watching every Chiefs game.
Same girl, same.
The same as you? Oh my goodness.
For the record, I'm not going to be silent on this. Travis Kelce plays a similar position, but it's literally called the tight end. So
Oh.
There's
you can see where some of the jokes were going there. The center who snaps the football under his legs to the quarterback wears hiking shoes. Hiking. There you go.
All right, maybe when Coach David Langdon listens to this, he will get that.
Yeah, he would
Find
chuckle.
that.
Yeah, Andy just looking at me
It's
blankly.
Wasted. All I know about football is that Taylor Swift is dating some guy in a red shirt.
All right, Andy, you will get this joke. You will understand this one. Why did the football quit the team? Why did the actual football quit the team?
Why did it get kicked out?
It was tired of being kicked around.
Oh!
All right,
That must have
here we
been bad. Robin had to bring in the fake laugh track.
That's not.
I know. I have two like non-football fans that I'm like throwing these jokes to. All right, you're also you're not going to get this one at all. But listener, give me a loud chuckle
Don't
from wherever you're
underestimate
listening.
me.
Here we go.
Next time you may want to overestimate me because I'm going to get this.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to get this.
When do they call past interference? There's a penalty called pass interference. But when is it called past interference? When you go back in time and change things so that your team wins. It's more of a riddle than a past.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Hang
crickets. Where's the crickets?
Do you guys hear that? It's no laughter.
Oh boy, I was gonna do. Let me just finish my section with this. So, do you recall?
Please finish.
We have a Buffalo Wild Wings in Casselberry,
Yes.
and Buffalo Wild Wings, they're big marketers. You remember the ads of Buffalo Wild Wings where like the guy, it kind of seems like he doesn't want to go home, or they don't want the game to end. They want it to go to overtime, so they like hit this button. And then like in the game, it actually like the sprinklers pop up and they cause somebody to trip, and the team that's kind of what I was going for with that past interference joke, but it just it bombed. So
Yeah. Hey, Robin.
I think we would have to know football things besides. Yes, sir.
Robin, Drew's still talking, and I've got no idea why.
Because he's our friend.
I think we should.
Okay.
I think we should take a break, and we'll get back with a real football expert.
For the record, I actually knew about the Kansas City Chiefs before Taylor Swift started dating one of them because that's Henry Cavill's favorite American football team. So,
Question.
yes.
Who's Henry Cavill?
Cavill, we
Cavill.
have this conversation every time we bring him up. He was Superman, the most recent Superman in the movies.
I think he's
He's
British.
a fellow
Yeah, I
British.
think he's British.
He's from
That's about all I
Jersey.
know.
Well, I like him.
Yeah.
I know that.
He's my future husband.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't know that
You
yet.
can cut all this from the pod.
I will not be.
This is the high quality entertainment.
I will not
artist
be.
one. But I do appreciate you, Robin, being my cultural voice. I would be so lost in our culture if it wasn't for
You're
the
welcome.
profound insights.
We all need
and
someone to
knowledge
guide
that
us.
You give me. Thank you. Anyway, so where were we, Drew? A word from our sponsors before we come back with our very special guest.
Are you looking to be part of something bigger? A community that fosters growth, prosperity, and support? Look no further than the Casselberry Chamber of Commerce. Since 2003, we have been dedicated to promoting the prosperity of the greater Casselberry community. But we don't stop there. We are proud supporters of local entrepreneurs, offering scholarships to high school graduates, making donations to food pantries, art programs, local schools, and more. We are not just another division of a larger organization or run by big businesses. In fact, 85% of our membership is comprised of small businesses with 35 employees or fewer. As a member, you'll have access to numerous networking functions education and opportunities for personal and professional development. From monthly business luncheon with inspiring speakers to women networking luncheons, ribbon cuttings, and business after hours, we have something for everyone. And check out our annual events, including golf and kickball tournaments and food and wine festival. There's always something exciting happening at the Casselberry Chamber. Join us today and become part of the Casselberry Chamber family. Together, let's make the greater Casselberry community an even better place to live, work, and play. We are here to create value for our members and help your business thrive. Visit CasselberryChamber.com for more information.
Listener, welcome back to our favorite part of the show where we have a conversation with someone who is making a difference in our community. Our guest today is doing just that, but we have a first on the podcast. We just don't have a fully functional, charismatic, conversational human. We have a beautiful dog in the studio as well. This could be, Drew, the first ever podcast that involves human language and dogs barking.
It's true. It's true. Yep. Producer Robin was smitten by our little friend Callie.
Yes.
That's her name.
Well, actually, it may not be the first time we've heard barking on the show because often Robin is barking some orders at us, aren't you, Robin? But anyway, let me welcome our special guest, Mr. David Langdon. David is the head football coach and the assistant AD at the school that is new to us here in Casselberry called Geneva. David, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
David, you are not a nervous guy.
No.
You like to talk, and this could be, because of that, our longest episode ever. But as we get started, let's break the ice a little bit so our listeners can get to know you. And maybe Callie, although you may have to interpret for her. So, David, you are married to a lovely lady called Tina, who is a local principal. When you guys go out for a meal, where is your favorite go-to place in Seminole County and why?
Well, we're a little limited. My precious wife is a little picky with what she eats. So most of the time we go to sport grills that have chicken wings because that's what she eats. So gators and things like that. And we do have a local that we really enjoy, JP's Diner, which is just got into new ownership, which actually I'm a frequent person there now. I go there for lunch as well. And I encourage all of your listeners that are local to give them a try. They're very good.
Oh. I am actually going there for breakfast tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And David, you and I have eaten there.
Several times. Yes, we have.
Times, yeah. Ever since it got closed down as the Breakfast Club because of their roaches. Promise you, they've got rid of all that, and it's a great
It looks
breakfast
great,
place.
yes.
Oh, I'm excited. I've not been there since it changed hands, so looking forward to that.
Well, JP is the owner's son. So the lady who owns it owns Sally's in Longwood, and her son is JP. I think he's just a toddler. Could be wrong on that, but she named it after her son.
Oh, good for
Little
her.
trivia there.
Well, there you go. Now that we've made our listeners all hungry.
Yeah, we're gonna send you a bill to JP's.
Yeah, that's it. JP, a sponsor. Well, David, you definitely look the part of a football coach. You can't see him, listener. He's got the sweatshirt on. Your voice. It's not football season, so your voice is healed.
A little bit, yes.
I imagine during the season it's always raspy and gone. But you've lived an interesting life. We're excited to unpack it a little bit more. If you were to write a book about your life, what would be kind of the title? Would there be a character that would maybe play you or anything?
It's a tough question off the bat, but if I think about it, maybe titled Not Just Football. My identity is so much tied into football. I'm 58 years old and had a football season as a player coach 50 of those years, and it's really been a big part of my life, but it's not just football. Football's a tool. Football's a tool to help grow young men and help grow communities, to mentor people, to do what a lot of people have done for me. And so I'd say maybe that would be a good title for it.
I like it. I would definitely read that book.
I would too.
In fact, that book should be made into a movie, and then we could hire someone like George Clooney to play you in it, David. I think that might work. All right, so you're a football coach.
And just to interrupt, I gotta make this joke, David, because we have a gentleman who is from across the pond.
Yes,
we need to clarify when we say football. We mean the real
football.
The real football.
That's right.
Yeah, not this soccer stuff.
Sure. Okay, the football you don't use your feet as much to play with. All right, so you are a football coach, but you're a guy, as you insinuated, who doesn't just believe in the power of sports, but supports it as well. And in some kind of guy cultures, you can tell a lot about a person by the teams they support. Right? So let's just kind of size you up. This is how it's going to go. I will mention a league. You tell us your team.
Okay.
And we will judge whether we like you or not after that.
Okay.
All right. NFL.
Miami Dolphins. I've been a fan before the Buccaneers even existed.
Oh, all right. Yeah. True Floridian then.
Yes.
Is that a thumb up from you, Drew? Because I know nothing about football.
Yeah, well, it shows he's a legitimate, back Dan Marino, Don Shula. Back
Not a bandwagon jumper. I'm
right.
diehard.
There you go. College football.
Local UCF.
UCF.
It's a safe answer.
Safe answer. NBA.
The Magic.
Has to. MLS.
Of course. Orlando City.
That was the one. I only asked the question to get that answer.
By the way, you're very instrumental in me becoming a late in life soccer fan. Usually I use soccer just to get kickers. And, being from Orlando, I was very proud when we got a team. I was at the first game, 60,000 plus, and it'd been a few games with Andy. We used to have season tickets, and I'm kind of starting to like it now.
Yeah. Well, that is part of my plan to take over America. It starts
I've already
with
taken over the
sports.
world. I mean, what else?
It starts with sports.
Yes,
so,
it does.
Yeah. Final one, Central Florida high school football team. Who's your favorite there?
Geneva Nice.
There you go. You passed
doubt.
that test. So just in case anyone is listening from Geneva, you passed that test. But I'm sure you said the other teams when you were teaching there as well.
I always have a heart for my alma mater, Evans High School, which I went to in Orange County. So
okay.
That makes you an Orlando OG as well, right?
I am.
That's the place.
I'm pre-Disney. I'm so OG.
Oh, my
Wow,
goodness.
that's great. My father-in-law he went to Boone.
Oh,
He's
okay.
just
Yeah.
a couple years older than you, and the same.
When
born
we
and
had
raised
8
in
high
this
schools in
area.
Orange County instead of 20 plus. Yeah, it's a great time.
So tell us a little bit about There's not a lot of folks that we can say are truly like born and raised here with deep roots. Tell us about Central Florida.
And we had 8 schools, Boone being one of the ones. If you go by Boone, you notice a lot of, Orange Blossom Trail, Orange Avenue, because all that used to be orange groves. And there were a lot of orange groves growing up. I grew up in Pine Hills, a wonderful place to grow up. And, high school sports was a big event. And, you didn't have City Walk, you didn't have downtown Disney or Disney Springs. You had your high school sports in your community, and it was a great thing.
So what would you say, David, building on that, are some of the most significant changes that you've seen in Orlando over those years? Because I love how you said Pine Hills was a great place to grow up. It has a very different reputation now. We have Orange Blossom Trail, Orange Avenue, the orange bushes aren't around anymore. Expand on that. What are some of the other changes you've seen and felt?
Well, obviously, Disney changed everything.
Yeah.
When we first got here, I believe.
For better or for worse?
Well, it depends. I mean, for better places like, Casselberry, when they had Deer Run and whatnot, that was kind of an elite area in Central Florida. I remember when Winter Springs High School opened up, and we played them the second year in existence. So I was the head coach of Cypress Creek. It's like, my goodness, where are we? This is in the middle of nowhere. There was a lot of orange groves. The Citrus Tower in Clearmont, you went up there and it actually saw a bunch of citrus. And, the population is always obviously the biggest difference. And, Disney and the parks had a lot to do with that. But I think growing up here and living here my whole life, for the most part, I think they've managed it well. We always have the push out from the economic demographics because of higher taxes when they're building things like that. And that's always challenging. But for the most part, I think our city leaders and county leaders have done a pretty good job.
I think that's a good summation is, growth, but growth with wisdom, right? Not just throwing up buildings and different services, but trying to accommodate the growth appropriately. It's a good natural transition to really talk about and zero in on why we asked you to be on, which was specifically to talk about the Geneva School. So really one of the newer components to our community of Casselberry, located right down the road from where we're recording right now. And
That's some of the growth in Casselberry that's not a tax burden on us. So we're grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. David, it's a beautiful campus there on Seminole. Tell us just, a little bit about your experience. You're relatively new yourself to the school. What are some observations? What are some highlights about the Geneva School?
We've been around 31 years. This is my first year, and it was almost this time last year that I took the job of transitioning from Trinity Prep as athletic director to accepting the job at Geneva School. And I did it because our head of school, Brad Ryden, he had a vision of what football is. And it's a lot of vision what the school is, but football is all about community. You have sports that play, legally through FHSA. You can play 25 games a season in soccer and basketball and baseball, but you get 10 in football. And 5 of those being home, and they're on Friday nights. And he knew the vision of what football could do as a community, and he wanted a certain perspective and attitude that uplifted the school's values, which I do very much. I didn't know a lot about classical Christian education until I went there, and I am absolutely in love with it. I have twin daughters that are 25 right now, but if they were in school when I lived here, that's where I'd want them to go to school. It's a atmosphere about what I believe in a lot, which is servant leadership. community and really knowing their identity, which a lot of schools have a hard time with right now. They know their identity and it's based on the gospel, which is the most important thing to me.
I love that. I remember walking with you through that transition and some of the challenges and the opportunities, and starting something new can always be a challenge. And as we've talked about that over the last few months, one of the things that you've said is that it's easier to create a culture than to change a culture. And that's really kind of struck me pretty deeply. So as you're kind of like a few months into building this culture, what impact do you see the football program having on the school and the broader community around that?
Well, it goes back to community as a whole, but I'll give you a great example that you're very aware of already. We started a program in our team with having a student chaplain. I've always had chaplains on my teams in private and public education, but had a very unique young man. And through that, and through meetings, which you've been a part of, we're trying to start a program where we get student chaplains in not only public schools, but not only private schools, but public schools as well, and really setting them up to sorry,
Callie had a comment on that.
You know, it goes back to football is just a tool. It's just a tool to empower people to go out and really stick to our school identity and going back to the main purpose of what hopefully our lives are about, which is sharing the gospel.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
I'd be curious, just David, as a coach, kind of what are a couple of just life principles or things that you really want those young men as they leave your program, whether they've played for a year, 4 years from now, like what would you say? You're like, because I played football for Coach David, I grew in that.
Commitment. We use terms like win the rep, win the day, one family, one heartbeat. Team verse is Proverbs 22:1. A good name is to be more desired than great riches, favor is better than silver and gold. And I've used that through many, many schools. This is actually the fourth program I've started. And it's learned a lot from failures and learned a lot from some successes. We had about 6 kids on our team this year who never played. They were seniors. And it was great. I have during their exit meetings and what they had to say and what it meant. It taught them about brotherhood and hard work and commitment. And those are things that we try to inspire in life, especially as we're mentoring anyone. Those are enjoyments. Those are real paychecks in my job.
That's fantastic. David, you've coached for 30 years or over 30 years apparently, which is that's remarkable. In that 30-ish, we'll say 30-ish years of coaching, I'm sure there's just a ton of individuals that have stood out to you, accomplishments, et cetera. When you're just sitting around with friends talking about, football and just reflecting on kind of your experience with the game, what are some things that stand out that you're really proud of?
What I'm proud of are the young men who decide to make a profession, an education, coaching, who had such great experience they wanted to do what you did for them. And that's the greatest compliment you can have. I have many former players that are head football coaches, that are school administrators, that are teachers, and all of it because of positive experiences they had, not just with me, but with my staffs and with their teachers. And that's what I really enjoy the most. I haven't really changed a lot who I am or what I say or what I do, except, yell less. We live in an age where critical motivation is not really as effective as positive motivation. Yep. And so my tone has gone down a little bit. But I have one, I always tell my kids, I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm here to love you and tell you I love you and support you and help you get going in life. And it just so happens that 2 of my closest friends are former players of mine. And one of them at one time said, Coach, I didn't know anybody could yell at me so much and love me so much at the same time. Wow. And so, those things like that, those are the paychecks. Those are things that the motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. I can't imagine to quit coaching. Even when I retire from education, can't think of quitting.
I love that. I love looking at David's Facebook page, and every now and again, pretty frequently, there's a picture of David with some other coach that you're reconnecting with after many years and many years of investing in their lives. And I love that. So let's kind of dig into that a little bit. What was it that initially attracted you to coaching?
My coaches. Okay. I've had some great people in my life, along with my parents. I saw my coaches more than anybody. My high school coach, Bill Gerke, the winningest coach in Central Florida history at when I was at Evans High School. And I would just reiterate what my former players said about me. I didn't know anybody could love me so much, yelled at me so much. But there was no doubt, and it's someone I still talk to every once in a while. My teachers in the classroom, when I didn't go through that thing of what I'm going to do in life. Once I decided, it's like, I'm going to be an educator and I want to coach. And I've never done anything else, and I love it. And I'm very thankful I didn't never have to go through that point of life. What am I doing? I've just always done it.
I love that. So what makes a good coach?
Servant leader. and always be able to show and tell the why, not just do it. Or something that really irritates me, you go to a game and you hear someone coach, they say, catch the ball, make the free throw. That's not coaching. That's not giving a why. That's just telling someone what they're doing wrong and not coaching them up. But I think serving and being able to explain the why. You agree with that, Callie?
Agreed.
Yeah. And just to clarify for our listeners, that was Callie the dog, not Drew's stomach. That noise.
I was saying I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out there on the field and run a few laps. As we wrap up here in just a little bit, it's off season. I imagine there's maybe some workout programs and just meeting with guys one-on-one. I just heard you say something that I haven't heard before. You do an exit kind of interview at the end of each season with each player. That's awesome. Kind of give them things to work through. What would you say a successful year at the end of after your last game is played? What looking back would make a successful season in your eyes?
Knowing that old kid come back in his 10-year reunion and talk about how football was one of the greatest moments of his high school career and joy. And going back to something you touched on, we actually get back to work next week. We go 4 days a week, conditioning and strength training, except for kids who are playing other sports, which we really, 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 really do support. I'll get on a soapbox one day when I talk about how terrible playing one sport year-round is. That's a different subject for a different time.
So you say more soccer?
Listen, I actually think every elementary school kid should play soccer. It is the greatest thing for foot development and things. So.
Yeah. So final question, David, as we wrap up. You talked about giving the why to people, and that's so good, and that's so applicable in so many other scenarios. I've met parents, I'm sure you have too, who just yell at their kids rather than giving the why. Lots and lots of applications for that. But there's a sense in which we're all coaches, right? We all have a responsibility to help each other become better, to find our purpose, to find our meaning, all that kind of stuff. As we enter the new year, what pointers would you offer to us and to our listeners about everyday things that we can do to make an impact in others' lives?
It goes back to servant leadership, be supportive, be transparent. Don't try to be just part of it. I also feel that if it's not good for everyone, it's probably not good for no one. And just being there a lot of times. Sometimes, I've had some player tragedies throughout my career and family tragedies I've been through, and most of the time just being there. Yeah. You don't have to say words because a lot of things happen there's no words for. But just being there for people is really, and being genuine.
Yeah, that's really good. There's no substitute for showing up, whether that's an employee at work, a family member, or a kid on the football team.
Yeah, absolutely.
David, this has been fascinating. We could talk a lot more about the ins and outs of what you do and the impact that you've made. But time is against us, and it sounds like Callie's hungry. So we want to thank you for your time today. But beyond that, just want to say thank you for the impact that you have on our students and on our community. There are certainly men who've been through your programs, and I know men and women scattered around Central Florida who are living with integrity and have a deep sense of character and living fully functional, successful lives because of your impact. So thank you for your time. But thank you for your influence as well.
Well, thank you. But I do want to mention this for listeners. Andy's my pastor and friend. And I just want to say how great it is to be able to walk into an atmosphere where you have a totally different matrix than a lot of people. And I believe the way that you're approaching sharing the gospel is the true church. And I thank you and love you for that. Thank you.
Love you too. Just got a little emotional, didn't it? Drew, do you need a tissue? You're good.
I do.
You're good.
Let you guys have a moment. Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Again, thank you, Coach David, for joining us, and Callie for being a almost silent but great guest. We're grateful that you both joined us today on what has turned out to be a football special, which is perhaps appropriate as we approach very quickly the Super Bowl. As we wrap up our conversations today, Drew, I want to throw the ball to you. Did that work? I want to punt your direction. I want to get a touchdown over your line.
One was enough.
And ask you to close out our scoring with some inspirational words.
All right, I'm gonna bring us back to the top here. This is from Ralph Waldo Emerson, author Ralph Waldo Emerson. I was kind of thinking in light of relatively new to the new year. Write it on your heart every day that this day is the best day in the year. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Write it on your heart every day that this day is the best day in the year." Something that Coach David said that really inspired me was, as he was reflecting on his 30 plus years of coaching, that something about sports, something about working with young people, there's a consistency that is just so needed in our society. And, that goes to a cultural community level. That also goes to the individual level. If you have a New Year's resolution, listener, if you have a goal that you have set for yourself for the year, it starts one day at a time. It starts each and every day, waking up, looking in the mirror, and kind of saying, you know what? Today is going to be a good day. Not letting the past weigh you down, not letting the burdens or the fears of what could be hinder you from moving forward. But instead, I love this quote, write it on your heart every day. This day is going to be the best day of the year. And no matter what you're doing, go out and make it so.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Andy. Any day with you two is the best day. This episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast is hosted by Andy Searles and Drew Taylor and produced by Robin Kepi. Yeah. For more information, please visit whatsupcasselberry.com. Until next time, have a great week.